Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well and I hope you had a great Halloween. I know I did. If you were a friend of mine in Facebook, you'd have seen all kinds of grandkid pictures because they were all over at the house and went through the neighborhood, and it was a fun time for all. As I said previously, when we canceled our October 31st video discussion, that I would provide something by video, and here we go. Pardon me. As usual, I looked at kind of really how well you're doing, and by the way, an exceptional job on the data analysis project. It looked like you really have a tremendous grasp of how to use Excel, at least enough to do anything you might want to do if you're doing some type of quantitative dissertation. But excellent work. I couldn't be more pleased. As I was looking at the rest of the semester, we only have 3 more units, and one of the things that has really stuck out with me as I'm working with students is really trying to do a better job of getting you prepared for the pre-proposal. So I'm going to spend quite a bit of time talking about that today because that's one of your new assignments as we move forward. So I've done that, and I want to go over first changes in the syllabus that I've made. First of all, I gave everybody Halloween credit for the cancel ones. You'll notice in Blackboard, everybody's been given a free 25 points for that video discussion that was canceled. And we're going to start on the survey, development, and data collection next time. I think you're going to breeze through that without a problem because I wanted you to start on something a little bit different that we hadn't talked about before in a few minutes. So you've got a perusal number 6. I've picked out an article I think you're really going to enjoy. It's a shorter article, and you'll notice in the instructions, and I've changed it in the perusal settings. You'll only need to do 7 annotations on that one because it's quite a bit shorter, but I think it will stimulate some great conversation. Assess dissertation number 6. And then for a content assignment, I've done something different. You might notice that I took out one of the projects. One of the projects was tool time. And again, from my experience with you so far, I don't know that we would get a lot out of that. I thought, okay, well, I'm going to do something different here that will help you better prepare for your dissertation than that would do. And I'm calling it your final pre-proposal practice. And the pre-proposal information I've included in OneNote. So if you'll look over here, for example, under the qualifying experience, the pre-proposal is what you submit for the qualifying experience. So when I click on that and you do that, you'll see here's the explanation of the qualifying experience, which is essentially the instructions for you submitting your pre-proposal paper. And this is the rubric we will use to evaluate it when you turn it in. Now, you do this during your last semester before you're considered a dissertation candidate, and you have to do well enough on this for us to feel confident that you're ready to engage in a study. Otherwise, we don't let you enter the dissertation phase. We don't assign you a chair until you've completed that. So going back up to what this is read through that, but it's essentially you're going to write an abbreviated version of chapters 1 through 3. And obviously it's abbreviated, so if you look down here, it can be no more than 20 pages, excluding the references. So what I've done is in your assignments, and I'm going to go back over here to Blackboard so you can see it, I've created a content assignment that I'm calling a pre-proposal practice. And you'll see the instructions in there, and I've given you the template that we'll use for you to write your paper in, and you've probably already accumulated some of this, so some of this may be very easy for you to do. So I'm going to bring up that document, which is that template. This is the template that I'm talking about. When you see the instructions, you have a title page, and then here are the headings that you will fill in as you go through that. And this has been designed for all 3 chapters. Really, it's kind of been mashed together, a qualitative or a quantitative, so I've kind of got elements of both. You may not have every single one of these filled in for the pre-proposal, but we want as many as possible. But this is the framework you will follow. What I want you to do for the pre-proposal practice between now and next week is to begin to fill in chapter 1, which are these headings right here. But I want you to do something a little different. I think one of the most underutilized functions of Word is the heading function. So I want you to practice with that some. So we're going to assume at this point these headings right here will be what we call first level headings. Now what headings do, they allow you to really, it allows you to update a table of contents, change formatting. I mean, if you had sections, it helps you change formatting of pages, but at this point, it really helps you design that table of contents. Well, you notice right now, it's all normal. So the default setting of most text that you put in a Word is going to be normal. But what if I wanted those to be headings? Headings would be like the start of any particular paragraph or narrative, a narrative that you're about to start. So I'm going to call that heading 1. Now you'll notice it jumps over there in the middle. It has a default setting of what those headings would be, but I can change that if I want to. I can say, okay, I want that to be left justified. It automatically gives it bold, but you can change all that if you need to. And as you move into APA formatting, it'll be much more specific. But for now, you can leave it that way. You'll also notice this, of course, I have the show characters, and that's another thing I'd always recommend. Always have your show characters on so you can see the formatting of everything you're doing in a document. But you'll notice this little box right here. This little black box indicates that this is a heading. It's not just normal text, it's a heading. Well, what makes it different? Well, it's going to be treated different. So, for example, since I've designated these as headings, and let's say I want to create a table of contents. So I'm going to put that cursor right there, and I'm going to go to, I believe it's, forgive me if I miss it here, insert, layout, okay, references. There we go, I'm sorry. Go to your references, and if I want to insert, and this gives me several options to do that. So I'm just going to choose this one right here. Okay. You'll notice automatically it added a table of contents with page numbers on there. Now, if I want that on to be a different page, I can do that. I can put a page break right there. So let's do that. Insert a break, page break. So now from now on, this will continue on. And if I want to update this, I'll show you what I can do. Let's say I want that also to be a heading. Well, let's just go through all of them. If I want all of them to be first level headings, I can do that. Put it back over to the left side like I did before, but then I can go up here and notice how it grays like that. Well, I can double click on that and it says update the field. And it's going to ask me just page numbers or the entire table. So I'm going to go entire table. Well, now you notice all of these show up now. So that's a really neat function of Word. So I want you to practice with that, but the main important things, I want you to begin filling in these sections. The background of your problem, the statement of your problem and theoretical framework, the purpose and foundation, and your research questions, the rationale, the significance, the assumptions that you're making, some limitations and delimitations. You may not know what those are or understand that as well right now, and that's okay. I want you to fill in what you can at this point, only through Chapter 1, and submit that as an assignment. And we're going to build this. So in the next unit, for example, we're going to move on to Chapter 2, and in the last unit, we'll do Chapter 3. And it should give you a good outline for doing the qualifying experience, which is really essentially going to become your proposal. And that will allow me to give you a lot of feedback on whether you're headed in the right direction or not. And by the way, I've also included the rubric we use to evaluate that pre-proposal. So it kind of tells you, here are the questions we're asking about your paper as you're doing it. You might refer back to that rubric and answer those questions yourself. Did you meet those standards in the paper you're writing? So that's what's, these are the assignments that are due, that dissertation assessment 6, perusal number 6, and the content assignment, which is really the pre-proposal practice for Chapter 1. And let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to our discussion next time.